What's up, Warriors fans? It's your main man, Max, here with Warriors Latest. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button if you like what you hear, because I do post new Warriors content daily. Now, in Dub Nation, we all heard that, inevitable truth that we all knew at the pit of our stomachs, but hope wasn't coming to pass. And that was Lauri Markkanen is not available on the trade market, and the Jazz have no interest in him. And as a Warriors fan, I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised but also relieved at the same time because Lauri Markkanen, young player on a controllable large deal, but he still could be a potential star down the road. He's already an all-star. He won the most improved player of the year. And I just don't know if he was going to fit the Warriors completely. I didn't think he was going to be a guy who pushed them over the top. Yes, he is a great big man, a 7-footer who can stretch the floor, but I just wasn't sold on the idea that he could really just push them over the top, become that championship team, and get Steph at least one more ring. On top of that, what would have been the cost and what would have been the interest overall from the Jazz had they started engaging with the Warriors for an Lauri Markkanen deal? And I'm thinking, all right, they drafted Ace Bailey. They don't need a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. The money doesn't match up for Buddy Hield, Pods, or even Moses Moody. So how would that even work? And I'm glad that it really didn't, because it really didn't make much sense to me to begin with, but the interest was always there dating back to last summer. And you know what? He is a young player, but since he doesn't really fit the Warriors' current timeline, and since he moves past the timeline, I'm okay with this. And I'm glad that they were able to at least put out the statement, hey, we're not trading Lauri. All right, Warriors can pivot and officially close the book on that idea, and then move on to other players who may better impact the team in the near future. And surprisingly, there is another guy that the Jazz have who may be on the market that can have at least some of an impact for the Warriors, and that is Walker Kessler. And for Walker Kessler, I really like him because he is a young double-double machine. I mean, he averaged 12 and 11 last year, 12 points, 11 rebounds, and that's really, really good, especially when it comes from a 7-foot center. And on top of that, I believe he averaged almost 2 blocks per game. So he is a defensive stalwart in the middle. The biggest question is, what is he going to cost the Warriors? And I honestly don't know, because he is on, he's a late first-round pick. He's still on his rookie deal. Okay, he's probably going to cost Pods. He's probably going to cost maybe Moody. I'm not sure what the exact details of his contract are, but he's also going to cost some first-round picks. Now, near-term first-round picks, I'm okay with. You want to give up a 26 pick? You want to give up a 27 pick? That's fine. I have no problem with that. It's just, if they're going after the 28 pick, the 29, I believe the 28 pick, the 29 pick, the 30 pick, the 31 pick, the 32 pick, past the championship window when Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy have all retired. That's where I gotta let's stand back. Because yes, Walker Kessler is a double-double machine. He is a defensive stalwart who can block, but he's going to be a restricted free agent next year. And he's going to be either re-signed by his team, or he's going to get an offer sheet from another team, and then likely the team that has him is going to match. The thing is, past the Warriors championship window, they're going to be in a rebuild mode. They're going to have a lot of cap space and are just going to work from there. And when you have so much money committed to a guy who's not a star or a major impact player on offense, it just raises a lot of questions. It raises a lot of red flags. And on top of that, you look at it. He's a double-double machine. Okay, that's great. You know who else is a double-double machine? Nikolai Vucevic. Now, Vucevic averaged, I believe it was 18 and 10 last year. And you can go to Vucevic and say, hey, they're going to play a lot of cone defense on us. They're going to guard us nonstop at the three-point line. They're going to double-team Steph. but they're going to leave the paint wide open. We need you to get us 25 to 30. Can you do that? And I could go to Vucevic and say that, and I could trust him to get that 25 to 30. When it comes to Walker Kessler, I don't know if I could trust him to get that 25 or 30 that you need when they're double teaming Steph and just the shot isn't dropping for either Jimmy Butler or worse, Jonathan Kuminga. And as I said before, acquiring a guy like Vucevic is going to be a lot less expensive than acquiring a guy like Walker Kessler. Vucevic is only going to cost likely Buddy Hield and Moses Moody and maybe a second round pick versus the treasure trove the Jazz are going to want to get Walker Kessler. Because as I said before, in any trade for a young player, what does Danny Ainge and probably his son Austin like to do? They like to draw blood. And this dates back from his early days with the Jazz. This dates back to his time with the Celtics when he broke up that big three. It's just how it goes. And I don't want to see the Warriors get their blood drawn like they are the most popular guy at a blood drive. It's just, I don't want to see that happen. I want them to actually win a championship, not get shafted by a guy who likes to swindle the opposing teams. So I want them to stay clear away from Walker Kessler unless a deal comes along to them presented by Ainge that benefits both teams. Because in all likelihood, I'm not sure a Walker Kessler trade will benefit the Warriors in terms of what they have to give up. But he's not the only player that has at least piqued my interest on, okay, why are the Warriors going off to this guy? What's he going to cost? Because another guy that's been talked about and I've been very surprised about has been the Spurs' Devin Bassel. Now, Devin Bassel, when it really comes down to it, he's a great player. But I don't see it. I really don't see it. And by what I mean not seeing it, I'm just saying, yeah, he's a scorer. He's scored, I believe it was around 18 a game, 37% from three. Played a decent amount of his games. He missed the cutoff by one game, only playing 64 instead of the minimum 65 to qualify for the awards. But I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on him. I'm not certain he's a guy you go out and say, hey, we need 30 points from you. Yeah, he could get you 20, but I'm not sure he can get you 30. And I don't know if he's going to be that level of an impact player, especially when he's going to cost a lot. Like, he's going to cost Moses Moody, he's going to cost Jonathan Kuminga, and he's going to cost at least pods and maybe some picks. And I think about it, and I'm like, all right, the Spurs, why are they interested in Kuminga? All right, Kuminga is a great, he can guard the 2, he can guard the 3, he can guard the 4. That's great. He can't really shoot, but they have some shooters. They've got De'Aaron Fox, they've got Steph Castle, and now they have, what was his name? Dylan Harper. So they've got a pretty loaded backcourt right now, like a little trio. So they need a little bit in their front court, and yes, Kuminga offers that, but does Devin Bassel fill a void that Kuminga left behind? And he kind of does in terms of a higher three-point shooting percentage. You just slide him right into the starting 2 guard, which is great. He can really shoot and be just a post-up and three-point shooter where they double-team Steph, and that's great. But the biggest issue is what's he going to cost? He's going to cost Kuminga. He may even cost guys like Moody and Pods, and I don't like that specifically because it limits the Warriors into what else they can acquire. They trade Moody along with Kuminga for Vassell. They can't go out and get Nikolai Vucevic to fill the middle. And on top of that, my biggest pet peeve is the fact that he's short. And I don't mean short in terms of, he's a 6'3" guard. He's 6'5", but in a league where the Warriors have to go and face guys or teams like the Rockets, teams like the Denver Nuggets, teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves, teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder that are very, very big teams, having a 6'5" guard might not get the job done and push things over the top. Yeah, we saw how good the Warriors are when all systems are a go. They were hot as a pistol since the trade deadline, going 23-8, and I know I've said it over and over, and they looked like they were going to win a championship until Steph went down. But I'm just not sure that Vassell puts them over the top. And even if he does only cost, say, Kuminga and maybe Pods, I'm just not sold on the idea. I can't get past the fact of him being 6'5". And I don't know if he's 6'5" with or without the hair. If he's 6'4" without the hair, deal breaker. Deal breaker. Next. I don't want to touch it. I don't care how good he is. It's just not going to work in the playoffs, because the playoffs are where business gets handled. And I'm really, really worried that if they make a move like that, it's not going to pan out in the long term. And on top of that, I'm not 100% sure he fits into their overall timeline, because he does have a manageable contract, but I don't know. I don't know the exact details. I think it does go past the window, and it doesn't set the Warriors up for much success post Steph Curry, and I'm not entirely sold. I'd rather the Spurs approach the Warriors and see what the Spurs offer, like Devin Bassel and then some, for say a Jonathan Kuminga and what they're trying to get back. So let's wait. I'm okay with waiting and seeing on Devin Bassel, though I still think they should go after other players first to really fill out the roster, fill some holes that have been just like completely empty for years, and get that taken care of first before they address the Kuminga issue. Now, bottom line is the Dubs really shouldn't give up a lot for non-impact players. And that includes Walker Kessler, that includes Devin Vassell. If the trade looks good and you don't have to give up too much, I'm okay with them making the deal. But overpaying for guys like Kessler and Vassell just aren't worth it. They should go after guys like Nikolai Vucevic, guys like Seth Curry, guys like Ben Simmons, who fit their current timeline. Like, best case scenario, they bring in Ben Simmons. He just completely evolves back into the player he once was and then continues to get better. That's best case scenario. And I'd rather the Warriors do that, because that fits their timeline. After, like I always say, after 2027, Steph is going to be 39. Draymond and Jimmy are going to be 37. The dynasty is over. It's nothing but ruins after that. So get players that fit your timeline and get players that fit the system. And that's what's most important. So that's all we have for Warriors Latest. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you didn't like what you hear or want to debate in the comments, feel free to comment below. And as always, go Dubs.